So
Okay.
hi guys, welcome to one more session from Niche Marketers. In this session, we are going to talk about a 10-step framework to create your own personal brand. So personal branding is very much important nowadays because uh, gone are the days when you can say I am a SEO specialist and I get all the work and you're loaded with work. Now it's time that there's a lot of competition out there. So if you go to any client, and if client already, if you say I am Roshan Samuel or something like that, then client actually googles your name and sees there is enough, what is this guy about. So if there is enough branding, or maybe in communities or different ways, the client can actually assess or analyze what you are, means before he actually fix a meeting, agrees for a meeting. So nowadays, clients are also very conscious, and if you want to demand proper price for the value you provide, then personal branding acts as an advantage, added advantage. And now personal branding is not an optional thing. It is something which needs to be done. And in coming future, people will definitely ask, being a marketer, you don't have your own personal brand. I don't believe you can market my services or my product. Till this time, people were getting away with that. But I believe, like, if you are a real marketer, why didn't you work out yourself? Why are you not even ranking for any keyword? Let us say you are a guy who's providing SEO services. Then where are you in Google? At least first page में तो second page में तो आना चाहिए कम से कम. So like whatever, personal branding can be various ways, but I was talking in the marketer perspective. So I would like to ask Satish to introduce himself and start with the session. So Satish ji is actually a brand storytelling consultant, and he has interest in this personal branding thing. He has been building his personal brand from quite some time. So Satish ji, uh, the stage is all yours. Please carry on. I'll
Thank
just
you.
make you a co-host so that you can even share the screen.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Thank you, Govardhanji. Good evening, everyone. So it's a late evening session, but I think most of us are used to this timing. So, let's get on with it. Okay. Thank you for introducing me. And I think Govardhanji was right bang on the spot when he was talking about personal branding. So anybody who's talking about any services in digital marketing or any of the areas, they should at least have their own presence. So we will see that. We will see the details of that. Okay. So like I said, my name is Satish. I belong to Hyderabad. I work in IT, but it's about a long career. I am let's say it's not actually a elevator pitch that I'm talking about, but a slightly longer version of that. I am a media salesperson. I used to work for the Times and the Hindu way back when media was the only, the newspaper was the only medium to, advertise, and then television came into the picture and all that. So I used to sell media space for Times and the Hindu, and I also used to write for both of them. I used to write advertorials, and that continued for about a decade and a half. And post that, I moved on to IT, since that was the in thing. Everybody is jumping onto the IT bandwagon. I jumped onto it, and here I am, almost about 20 years, 2 decades of IT career. Okay, but now again I'm going back to what I was doing initially, but in a digital way. So I would say that I'm revisiting my old career. So that's about me, right? So let's get on with it. Let me just share my screen and
That's
start.
awesome. That's awesome. And don't. This is our actual time. Don't think it's night. We have this session in niche marketers. We find this is the better time
Yeah.
because all the marketers now, they are working
Mhm.
throughout the day. In the daytime, they're not able to take out some time actually.
Okay,
So we found
nights
this
are
a
better
sweet
day.
spot. Yeah.
All right. Okay, let me know if you can see my screen.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, let me minimize this. All right, so today we'll look at personal branding. So basically we'll look at what it is, why we need it, and how we can achieve it. So basically I just worked out a 10-step framework for that. Okay, so who am I? I just introduced myself. My name is Satish, and I talked about my career. Okay, we will also take a look at what is a personal brand, what is personal branding, and we'll take a look at a little bit of the history of brands, how they evolved, what we used to do earlier, what we missed in the interim period, and then how we are going back to it again. Okay. And then we'll look at a 10-step framework, and then we'll get into some Q&A. So let's keep the Q&A to the end of the session, and I'll try to answer as much as I can today during the Q&A session. If I cannot, I promise I will get back to you with the answers. Okay.
Yeah, actually, any questions are there, you can, irrespective of the timing, you can just, you guys can just comment in the chat box. We'll get back to it after some time.
Yeah. Okay. So what is a personal brand? Wikipedia says a personal brand is a widely recognized and largely uniform perception or impression of an individual based on their experience, expertise, competency, action, achievement in a community or industry or a marketplace at large. So quite a mouthful, but yeah, I mean, that's how Wikipedia and a couple of other websites also describe a personal brand. It's basically what you are, what people think when they talk about a person. So that's your personal brand. When it's widely recognized and then you become a visible brand, that's when you actually become a brand, and people start associating you with some quality, a certain quality, saying that okay, this guy, yeah, he's good in SEO, or this guy, yeah, he's good with paid ads or Google ads, or whatever your specialty is. So that's how it works. Okay. Personal branding is basically an exercise to, that's your exercise to achieve a personal brand. So it's a conscious and intentional effort to create and influence public perception. So basically of an individual. So you position the person as an authority in that industry. You become a voice on the topic in the industry. So you become a thought leader mainly. That comes after a long time, but yeah, that's how it works. So elevating the credibility and differentiating yourself from the crowd and saying that if there are 100 people offering an SEO service, why should you buy my service? How am I different? How am I special? Or what am I giving you that makes me different from everybody else? So that's Wikipedia on personal branding. Okay, so let's take a look at a little bit of the history. Okay, if you remember the times when businesses in India or anywhere in the world, I've taken specifically Indian businesses because we can relate better to them. If you take the history of the brands, you look at Tata Group. It was founded in 1868 by Jamshedji Tata. So it was named after their family. TVS Group, again by TVS Sundaram Iyengar, again their name. Kirloskar, Lakshman Rao Kirloskar, again the family name. Aditya Birla, and so on and so forth. I can say that, we can talk about hundreds of brands which are named after families, and they flourished and they're still going strong. Okay, so the unique feature of this, if you say, is that the people who founded these stood behind the product or the service they built, and they were proud about their work. So they were the strong pillars behind the brand. So the brand was actually their personality rather than the product or the service they were selling. So please note that that's a very key word. So the person or the the person who's providing the service or the product is the key here.
Maybe like you want to stress here, like Tata, like Jamshedji Tata has kind of whatever his product or service is, he always keeps customer first and other thoughts. Like there are some philosophies he is having.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. And apart from that, all these were driven by the personality of the person who actually started the business. So they were largely driven by that, and they believed in their work, and the passion showed in their work and services. Okay, now during those days, they never had anything like, there were no books on personal branding. Nowadays, you'll find millions of them. There was no Twitter or Facebook or LinkedIn or Instagram to build their brand. So like I was saying, all the great companies, they built from a strong personality, and the personality stood behind the product or the service they were selling. Okay, so after this period, there was a period when we forgot about all this. Okay, We forgot about being original.
Hmm.
We forgot about being original or being the driving force behind a brand. And we look to copy the larger, more successful companies. Names of the owners were forgotten. Businesses became faceless. So you only had a name of a brand, but you didn't know whom it belonged to, who's driving force behind it. And when these businesses needed a face, they bought one. So can anyone guess, when I say they bought one, what exactly does it mean?
Advertising celebrities and all, is it?
Exactly.
Brand ambassadors.
Exactly. So you bought a face. You bought a face, like what? You bought somebody who may not even have experienced the product or lived the product or used it, but you pay a certain amount of money, and then the person says, "Yeah, this product is great. You buy this." Right. So there was this phase. I think it's still going on, but I don't think that's the right way of approaching a brand value. So, buying that, because customers they have started to realize now that the face that is selling the product is not actually the face that is using the product. So that realization is coming now. And because of that, personal branding is all the more important now. Okay. So what is the lesson learned from this, what we saw? Your product or service is much more about you and your story. It's not your logo. It's not your Facebook fan page. It's not your Instagram followers. None of those. It is about you. It is about your story. It is about why actually you started this service or why you actually started this product. What is the singular unique problem of the customer you're solving with your product or service? That is what all this is about. So your raison d'etre, they say, the reason of your existence of your brand, of your product or your service. That's what is the crux of this. Okay. Give me a second. I'll switch the screen now. Okay, so far okay. Any questions, any points? Anybody wants to say anything? Or am I going too theoretical? Gordhanjay, I can't hear you if you're talking.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah, it's not theoretical. Yeah, please.
Okay. All right. Let me again start my screen share.
Salila says, great start, super interesting.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, so let's start the 10-step framework for personal branding. Okay. The first one, figure out who you are. That's the first part of the journey. That's the first point of the journey. You have to figure out who you are. So when I say who you are, these are a few pointers. There could be many more. You can look at things like, in which areas of work or even personal life do I excel? I could be a good orator. I could be a good storyteller. I could be a good listener. Or I could be someone who's excellent in, making pie charts or, Excel sheets or presentations, whatever. What am I good at? That's the first step I need to do. What motivates me? What motivates me to get up and, start my work every day? On the contrary, which roles seem to drain my energy? Which roles feel like, oh God, I have to do this. Why should I do this? Avoid those. Which projects can I spend hours on without feeling overwhelmed or tired? Okay, I'm not talking about Netflix or Prime here. All right. So I'm talking about work which will consume you so much that you don't even know that you've started during the day and you started at 10 in the morning and it's already 6 in the evening and you don't even realize it. That's the passion towards your work. So you will have to first figure out who you are. That'll be your first step. Okay. Next, decide what you want to be known for. Okay, so this would be things like your personal brand is more than a reflection of who you are today. Okay, your starting today is fine, but it will stick to you. It will be with you for a long time to go. So it is also a roadmap of where you want to go next 5 years, 10 years, whatever your timeline. You want to keep it short, keep it for a year, and look at where you are towards the end of the year, and then adjust accordingly where you are. Understanding your existing skills and competencies. So more like a SWOT analysis of your strengths and weaknesses that you do. Okay. Then thinking about your roadmap for the next 5 or 10 years. Okay. Believe me, that gives you clarity for the steps you need to take to build your personal brand today, for tomorrow, for the next 5 years or 10 years. And trust me when I say that, when you do that exercise, you will find out skills and traits that make you unique. So it's a little bit of introspection. You need to look into yourself and try and figure out what you're doing, why you're doing it. Okay. So when you do that, you will understand that. Are we all good?
Yeah, fine. Perfect.
Thank you. Okay. Next one, you define your audience. So, you know, you figured out who you are, you decide what you want to be known for, which specific aspect you want to be known for, and then you define your audience. What is the audience you're trying to reach? Are you trying to reach industry thought leaders, or you're trying to reach recruiters? You're trying to reach the market. You're trying to reach the youth who's between 20 and 35, whatever your target crowd. You define that, because the sooner you define it, the better it is. You can craft your story around them. So you tailor your story around them. So if you're trying to reach recruiters, it's a simple example I'm giving. Your first step would be you update your profile on LinkedIn. Okay, have an up-to-date profile, have all the relevant fields in that, ticking the boxes, and you reach your recruiters. As simple as that. The next step is you research your industry and follow the experts. I would say this is very, very important in today's context, because we have a lot of thought leaders in most of the industries, and the access that we have in today's generation is immense. I mean, if I think about the scenario in the days when I was just doing media sales, accessing somebody or reaching out to someone was, asking about 20, 30 different people for somebody's number, calling them, reaching to the secretary, begging them for an appointment, and then going and meeting the person. You don't have to do any of those now. You have Twitter, you have Instagram, you find out their profile, go to LinkedIn, get their email ID, write to them directly, message them, and you're reaching the experts. I mean, life has never been easier. The old timers would agree with me, I guess, right? So find out thought leaders in your industry, look for people who are successful, and study their methods. So check if they have a blog. They definitely have a blog, or they'll have a website where they share their thoughts, or some people are, purely living on Twitter also. Most of the thought leaders tweet at least a couple of times a day on Twitter. So their thoughts are there, recorded on Twitter. And then imitate them and go one above. That's when you reach the top there. So your goal is to stand out, right? But you can't rise to the top without knowing who's already there. So you need to know who are the thought leaders, who is on the top, who are the people there. And then you follow them, you get their best practices, and then you go one above them. Okay, this is one part which I think a lot of people don't feel comfortable. Ask for informational interviews. But trust me, people are willing to share their knowledge. You just have to ask them. Okay. So consider reaching out to the thought leaders and ask for short interviews. Tell them, I just want to talk to you for 5 minutes or 10 minutes. Okay. A lot of them would be willing to share their information, their knowledge with you. Okay. So don't be afraid to reach out to them. You'll be surprised how many people would be ready to share their knowledge with you. Okay. When you reach out to them, ask them these questions. Okay. Just give me a second. Let me. Yeah, here we are. So when you reach out to them, ask them, how did you make an entry into this industry? You know, what prompted you to get into this industry? And on the contrary, if you were to enter the industry today, what steps would you take? Would you do the same things that you did maybe 5 years ago, 10 years ago? Would you be doing the same thing or would you be doing anything different? How do you see the industry evolving? And how do you keep up to date with industry trends? Also ask them any professional organization or club that you need to join to be in touch with the industry and to be in touch with all the people in that. Next, most important thing, prepare an elevator pitch, which we were talking in the beginning. Right. So spend some time to create your hero story. It could be a 30 to 60-second story about who you are. I don't think I'll have to talk what is an elevator pitch because everybody's experienced and we all know, but it's basically an introduction of what you are, what you do, and
Well,
what makes you interesting. Yeah, please.
maybe whom you help or
Yeah.
where is that you are able to impact.
Exactly. So what you are, what you're doing, and what is the problem you're solving, basically, you know, what is the problem you're solving for the people and what makes it interesting, what makes you interesting.
Yeah.
So make it with a hook, make an elevator pitch with a hook, which leaves a question unanswered at the end. Then go to networking events, informal events that you can quickly introduce yourself and talk about an important aspect. So your elevator pitch could be something, and then you can add something like, you know, I'm working on a project on personal branding nowadays, or I'm working on a project, I'm working on brand storytelling. So that picks the curiosity of people and they'll say, okay, what is brand storytelling? Then you can get into the dialogue about, okay, what is a brand story? It's the existence of the brand. How did the brand start and where is it now and where is it going in the future? Right? Or why does the brand exist? That's a brand story, basically. Yeah. And mind you, we Indians, specifically, if you talk about Indians, we are wired to stories. You talk about any of our epics, Mahabharata, Ramayana, you take any of the Vedas, everything has been, you know, given down generations orally. So we are all generations of storytelling. You take Panchatantra, you take any of our stories. Morals are taught through stories for us. So you could talk about the new career path you've chosen, or you could be talking about the new venture or startup you're planning. So that could be the, you know, interesting part in your elevator pitch. You talk about that and then talk about your venture. Okay, this I cannot emphasize enough. Network, network, network. Network regularly and effectively to grow your professional circle. Connect with peers, industry thought leaders, go to events. More connections, more knowledge, more value you can provide in your interaction. And more likely you are recognized. Ask for recommendations. So if you have an endorsement, it's the easiest and the most effective way to define your personal brand, because you're not doing it yourself. Somebody else is doing it for you. And that carries more weight than you talking about what you have achieved. LinkedIn is a great place for that. So on your profile in LinkedIn, try and get recommendations. That will be a great way to build your personal brand. Okay. Grow your online presence. Very, very important. But that does not mean that you spread yourself thin across all the mediums. You don't have to, actually. So be present on relevant social media channels. Need not be all. So let's say if you're looking at a very professional kind of presence, you don't have to go all out on Facebook and talk anything out there. You can be present there if you want to, but that's your personal choice. But LinkedIn is a place where you can be. You have to be, rather, right? So you have to ensure your profile is sending the same message across different profiles. So if you have profiles in multiple social media channels, ensure that you're sending the same message everywhere. Okay. And ensure that whichever channel your target audience is on, double your efforts on that. So if it is LinkedIn, make sure that you have your key industry skills, quantify your accomplishments, complete your profiles, and use a professional photo. Please don't use the Goa beach photo on a LinkedIn profile. That will bring down your ratings, right? Twitter, you can leverage Twitter to highlight your expertise, use hashtags. Same with Instagram if you want to be on that. If you have a personal website, nothing like it, that's your own property, and you can showcase your portfolio, your blog, your writing skills, and your achievements. And remember, your personal brand is not just an online presence. It's not just your online persona. It's how you carry yourself. It's the total you. So let's say you are in a networking event. It's a physical event. Your personal brand is something, and the behavior that you're doing out there or the message that you're sending out there in a physical presence is something else. That doesn't work. That clash will not work for you, for your personal branding. So it is the total you. When you say, your personal brand is not just an online thing, it is complete personal. And reinvent your personal brand as you grow, because today you might be excellent at something, and maybe in a couple of years you realize that, okay, I can do something else apart from this. You reinvent yourself. It's not that you're branded for life. It is not that. You can reinvent yourself as you grow. Okay, so with that, I come to the end of this presentation. But there's something else I wanted to leave you all with. Give me a second. Okay, so parting words. I'm sure everyone knows Joe Pulizzi. He's from Content Marketing Institute, and he's written hundreds of books on content marketing. He's one of the leading experts, perhaps the most prominent name in content marketing says. At the end of the day, I'm not smarter than anyone else. I just didn't give up. So he found a niche where he could distinguish himself, and he worked really hard. That's why he's there, where he is today.
Yeah, sticking to a niche is something which is really, really tough, because sometimes when things are not as promising as you thought in the first place,
Right.
We generally tend to give up, or we try to look other way around. We'll change directions and all.
Exactly.
Maybe that's the reason Joe Pulizzi is one of the persons content marketing has become synonymous with his name.
Exactly. Yeah. So that's what he says. He says, I'm not smarter than anyone else. He didn't give up. So that's the message there.
Yeah, actually, Satishji, the framework you shared is quite deep and quite very well thought one. So I want to take I want to get back to the discussion in that framework itself.
Sure.
To have a small discussion so that
Mhm.
it gets some clarity. Let us go back to your presentation. And,
Okay.
and meanwhile, if anyone has anything to say or talk, you can definitely unmute and directly talk. No need to even chat. It's much easier. But once let's go to the presentation, because
Okay.
I want to make a few things clear, because
Mhm.
it will help the guys who are actually sitting in the room.
Okay. Let me start sharing again.
So if you go back to the first point itself, figuring out who you are.
Yeah.
And I would like to put a question to the guys who are here in the room. Like, could they figure out? Could you figure out yourself? Because I can tell you, literally, it took me around 14, 15 years to figure out that I'm clear on. I'm a people person. I like to enjoy. I enjoy people's company and all. But it took some time to pursue that actually. So sometimes figuring out whom you are also takes a lot of time. And this framework, what Satish ji was giving, Satish ji, you are telling something.
Yeah. No, go ahead. Go ahead. I'm listening what you're saying. You're right.
So whatever he's mentioned in these 4 points, I feel it makes a lot of sense. It makes it very clear, because in which areas of work do I excel means already there's a proven proof that it's a proof that already you are succeeding at something, maybe at your job, or maybe in real life you are good at something, or you're appreciated for something. So it's already proven that uh, you can actually you can actually produce results. Sometimes we are passionate but we can't produce results. Let us say i'm I like to write poetry, I want to sing also, but I can't sing properly. Maybe my tone is not so good, whatever reasons, I'm not practiced well enough. So I think there are some issues. So here, like, when we're talking about all these things, what motivates me, definitely there's a purpose. I all For me, it like what creating a greater impact always motivates me. I need to create impact. Money is always there, but always creating an impact motivates me. Then which role seems to drain my energy? Definitely, we need to identify this to be away from it.
Stay away from them.
And then which words can I spend hours on without feeling overwhelmed? So, guys, if you can actually look at these 4 lines, they're very, very meaningful, whatever he has put, because it simplifies the thought actually. Hi, Salila, you came on cam. You want to share something?
Thank you, Govardhanji. I just wanted to agree with you that it took me the longest time to even figure out what I was good at, because when you're looking at yourself from inside of yourself, you're only prone to finding fault with yourself. Now I'm working as an Ayurveda health coach, and as you are speaking this, I'm also reflecting back into my life that one thing I have always been successful, even as a small child, is that I was always very good at listening to other people's problems. So even grown-up adults will come and talk to me. Once there was this guy on a bus who shared with me that he had murdered someone and he was very sad about it. So such things people have always come to me and shared, So I've had the most incredible confession sessions. So that has now become a part of what I'm doing in the world today. Thank you so much for this presentation, Satish ji. Helped me to clarify my values and continue with what I'm doing, which is healing others, Ayurveda. This is something I can do even at 3 in the morning.
Yeah, Salila ji was interacting with me some time ago. Like from the last 1.5 years, we connected through niche marketers only. So she was attending some of our webinars and live sessions. Happy to have her here. Actually,
Glad she could make it.
Yeah, definitely. Actually, guys, this framework is very, very important. And if you're able to figure out, go through this framework, I think you'll definitely figure out, definitely there will be some, I feel like having a workshop kind of a thing to actually make it happen, maybe the right thing. Because what happens now, if I'm not confused even, then there's a problem. seeing this framework, if someone is not even confused, if he's very clear, then that's great. Like already it's everything is
Yeah.
clear, then that's great.
Mm.
But most of us are not even confused, means I think you are not able to get into it actually.
Yeah. It takes a lot of introspection into what you're good at, because most of us, once we start working, we get caught into a role trap.
Identity trap, role and identity trap also.
Yeah, exactly. So, you get in the office and then suddenly you make very good presentations, and then, all your colleagues say, "Arey, you want to get a good presentation, go to Satish." So you become the presentation making guy. Maybe you're not excellent. I mean, maybe you're good at it, but that is not what you want to do.
Yeah.
You get into the trap, and then you keep doing only that all your life, as long as you're working there.
And yeah, definitely once organization recognizes you're good for something now,
Yes,
all those stuff will come to you repeatedly again and again, and you get into the trap like you rightly pointed out.
exactly.
So I wanted to actually check some of the guys who are actually in this session
Mhm.
and ask them this question. The first one, figure out who you are. So let me check. I think I want to point out to Souvik if he's comfortable coming on and talking. If you could figure out who he is. Souvik, are you there?
Yes, sir. So for me right now, I am exploring finance. So I can figure out or niche down to point out as a finance content writer for me.
Okay, that's a pretty clear
Hmm.
description, I think. It's like it's coming out well, and definitely you may not need to stick to that for a long time. But
Yes, sir.
what do you say, Satishji? Like,
Sorry. Yeah. Yeah. Actually, he's got his niche and writing on finance. So it's good for you. So if you're comfortable writing that, and if you're proving yourself in that, go deeper into that.
so Souvik, if you are, I'll take you to the step 4 or 5. If right now I ask you what's your elevator pitch, can you tell something? Like Satishji was mentioning about an elevator pitch or a hero story, whatever we
Yeah.
call. Are you able to have some such kind of a lines or a framework or whatever you call?
I have not thought about it previously because I was just exploring, you can say marketing, but just you can say for the last 5 or 6 months I am into finance because I was an ex-banker. So that's why I have a keen interest in finance, but I can try it out. Yeah, I can, it may be spontaneous, but I can try it out.
Yeah, please try
So-
that. That brings out the best of people.
Once can you, Satishji, once can you take us to that step so that he can actually, we'll try to frame it actually. That's what's my
Okay.
plan actually. So others also can actually put this thing in practice.
Next one.
I think it's before, no?
No. Yeah.
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 Okay. Informal events. So, okay.
Prepare an elevator pitch.
So, Souvik, one thing I'll ask you, like,
Yes, sir.
okay, what made you get into finance?
Because you can talk about the fintech arena is booming like anything in India and across the globe. In specifically, I am looking at Southeast Asia and India. So the fintech startups, I am closely seeing whatever they are doing in the payment gateways and all those things, and the blockchain technologies coming ahead. And I'm really optimistic about blockchain and cryptocurrencies, and looking forward. Basically, I was into writing about trading and stock market, but after that the pathway was niching down to cryptocurrencies and blockchains and the payment gateways. So in that way, I am really focused right now on cryptocurrencies, and the fintechs revolved around the blockchain and cryptocurrencies.
But if
So-
I can question you critically on this,
Yeah.
So whatever information you have, I also have the same information. How does it make me different? Make you different than me? Because I also know fintech is booming, and also I want to be a content writer. Now I'll tell the same thing like you said. But how does you get an edge of what you're telling?
Actually, what is happening, sir? I am looking at the startup funding that is happening. So
No. So wait, let me correct
Yeah.
you.
Yeah,
What
yes,
I'm trying to get here is, what makes you qualified for writing for fintech? What is that advantage you have over me? Like myself, you compete with me now. I'm an engineer, but I'm what I say is I am seeing fintech is booming, so I'm entering the market. But now, what is different from your perspective? Like, why you feel you're more qualified or for being a fintech writer, or what is that you bring to
I
the
am
table?
also I am also an engineer, but later on I did my PGDB in banking, postgraduate diploma in banking from Manipal University. So I have an idea about the core basics of fintech and finance, and I know the industry how it is operates. Though I am not having a CA type of knowledge, but I am having the basics of finance and how the banks are moving, because I have worked in a bank for multiple years. So in that way, I am knowing about the finance
You work
world.
for a
And
bank. You work for
yes,
a
sir.
bank.
Yes, I have worked for a bank.
So isn't it a very good thing to share? So the first thing you should share is that,
Absolutely, sir. Yes.
because why I'm
Yeah.
telling is, this is how you create a story. It's not how you create. What do you say, Satishji? Like that's the
Yeah,
reason we should
okay.
discuss.
Yeah, okay. That reminds me of something. Has anyone here attended Blair Singer's training program? Train
Yes,
the
I have.
trainer?
Yes,
You
I have
have?
recently. Yes, recently
Yeah.
I have. Yeah.
So what does he say? When you come to talk about yourself, whether you're training someone, you're presenting something, what is the first thing that you need to say? You remember what he said?
Right now, sir.
ETR.
Yes, on the right.
Exactly. So what is earn the right?
That you are putting your credential that you are the fit for the job you are doing.
Exactly.
He could have said ex-banker turned content writer.
Exactly. Yes.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. So Souvik, that's the reason. Always put yourself in the shoes of the other person who is listening to you, and how does it make a difference? And I always tell you, like, when we're talking anything, we need to cut short on the description we give. Once we give a lot of information, people will not absorb it. And you have very good one. Now let us connect the story better. You are an engineer first thing. Then you got into PGDBM. What is that? Postgraduate diploma in banking.
Banking, yes, sir.
So I would like to ask there, you definitely would have did that because there might be a career opportunity thing coming up.
Yes, sir.
Are there any other factors also which motivated you to do that specific course? Anything different?
No, actually it was tied up with ICICI Bank. So after that, we directly got into ICICI. So it was a partnership program with ICICI, because I got selected in ICICI Bank, and they put me to do that course before coming and join the bank ultimately after 12 months.
So now, if you are able to frame a story, you can frame it that way. Like, I am an engineer turned financial enthusiast, and I didn't know this before my bank identified me as a finance specific guy or something like that. Then you come back, like, why I'm telling this is some story always is important. When you this makes it very interesting. People turn back to you, they'll see to you. It's again like sometimes people think it's moral or not. I don't think we are doing anything wrong. We're just making the story interesting. That's all, nothing else.
Yeah, I got the clarity, sir, because it is the hook that I am creating by just talking about the relatability to engineer to become a banker, and how I converted that. It is the hook. Yeah.
See, I will tell one more thing is myself. I'm an engineer. Then I was trying digital marketing, not digital marketing to be precise, blogging. I was exploring blogging and other stuff. Then what happened is, in course of time in 2014, 2013, end of 2013, after 2 years of me exploring blogging, I got diagnosed with diabetes. Now, what is there is I can tell the story in a different way. That I got diagnosed with diabetes, and and I wanted to reach, and I could with all the research I did, I could figure out that I could figure out that I can reverse diabetes. I reversed my diabetes, and I was seeing many painful people are actually suffering. Many people are suffering with a lot of pain because of misconceptions about diabetes. Then I want to spread a word about the diabetes, and because of that, I learned digital marketing. It's a lie.
It's not. It's how do you say it's a lie? I mean, that's what
No,
you're doing, right?
it's a lie in the sense it's not exactly true.
Yeah.
But this is how actually many people, big
Mhm.
people though, who tell big stories, they generally modify the story to suit the
Audience.
audience or the scenario, etc.
Yeah.
So this is very, very important, I think.
But at the base of it, your story has to be true.
Yeah,
The base of it has to be true.
definitely.
I mean, if I can give you some examples, one simple example, I think, what is it called? The brand Tom Shoes. I don't know
Okay.
how many of you have heard of it. There's this brand called Tom Shoes, and the main guy who made the brand, he was walking across somewhere in Africa and found that children there don't have footwear and walking in, harsh conditions and all that. So he made a promise that anywhere in the world, anybody buys one pair of shoes, he will donate one pair of shoes to these underprivileged children. That's one of the most, I would say, popular and intent brand related story, which is true and which sells millions of shoes. People buy Tom shoes only because when you're buying, somebody underprivileged is getting a shoe free.
Yeah.
Okay. So, that's his reason for existence. That's his brand story, but that's his reason for existence.
The uniqueness he's bringing to the table, that is different actually.
Yeah.
And yeah, definitely what you said is correct. And at the end of the day, you can actually, you need to have that base. The basic thing should be true. We can't lie everything. Like you can manipulate 30%, 20%, not more than that.
Yeah.
If you're manipulating everything, then it's gone. So Savik, I think I would like to see a elevator pitch from you in some time. Share it with me or Satishji will have a look at it. If required, we'll also discuss, and others also, if they're ready to try the elevator pitch, please share it, because this is very, very important. Because many a times I found that most senior guys, most senior marketers, because they're getting introduced to niche marketers, and I ask them to share about themselves in 30 seconds or maybe 40 seconds, a small video, or maybe at least 5 to 6 lines. Just 5 to 6 lines, they're not able to put about themselves. That's because you're not putting enough time. Just try to connect the dots. Things will work. And the starting elevator pitch will not be perfect anytime. You need to refine it. You need to think through. Maybe you need to discuss with others.
You'll refine it over time.
Yeah. So Savik, what do you say?
Yes, sir.
So you're ready for the elevator pitch, no? You're sharing. Sharing.
Should I just explain it, or tomorrow I will do it?
Anytime, but do it.
Yes, absolutely. I will share it tomorrow with you.
Anytime, please do it, because you are one of our club members. I want to see you like progressing in different ways. You have been associated with me from like last 3 to 4 months.
Yes, sir.
More closely. That's the reason I'm actually taking your name specifically, because you're also putting efforts. I'm seeing that. That's the reason. Yeah.
Sure, sir. I'll do it. Thanks, Satishji, for this session.
Glad that you liked it.
Yeah. So anything else from anyone? Because I have been talking more because the subject is something which I also connect a lot. And sometimes what Satishji gave, that was really absolutely a good framework to work upon. And I want to make it relatable to the people who are actually watching it. So any final thoughts, Satishji and others, before we actually conclude? Or any questions from anyone?
Others, yeah, any questions? Anybody wants to say anything? Any observations?
I have a question.
Yeah,
It's about thought leadership.
Yeah.
You know, when I started my journey, I started to obviously look at competition, see what material they were putting out, and then do better than them and produce material that put me ahead of them. So now I'm noticing that they come to my material and then they look at what is the holes in my material, because you know it's all limited, like you limited space, and then they start doing things. So I'm based off of my material. So I can see that very clearly. And in a way, I feel honored that now I'm the one people are stealing from. I was once in that position where I was stealing from, not really stealing, but
Yeah.
getting inspired. How do
Exactly.
we stay ahead as we are going forward? Because now I have to work doubly hard to bring out content that is fresh, that will be seen that will be accepted. Many of it goes down the tubes because you know it's all experiments. I'm doing experiments now because it's boring for me to go and see what others are doing and then try to copy that. So, what would you suggest? How do we stay ahead?
Okay. Two things. First thing is, when we say that we are stealing, we are not actually stealing. We get inspired. And honestly, if you look at the number of blogs and websites on the internet today, I would say it would be a real challenge to come up with something that is totally unique, 100% yours only. No, I don't think I have ever come up with something like that. You know, it will definitely be inspired by somebody, and then I give my personal touch to it. I add in my thoughts to it, and I make it my content rather than somebody else's content. And the more people and the more content I read about the subject, the more knowledge I have, you know. So reading is a key. So the more I read, the more I get to know, the more I can share, or the better I can share. And that's how, I mean, that's how you're going to become a thought leader in that, you know. So you are going so deep into a subject that you know most of the points about the subject than a lot of other people put together. So that's when you can talk about it, and you know, you can discuss about it at length. That's when you become a
Thank
thought
you.
leader.
That makes sense completely. That's my trajectory. I've reached out to you on Instagram, by the way, and I would love your thoughts on what I can do better.
Surely.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Actually, I want to add to that what Satish ji has mentioned. Salila, like when we're talking about content, what I'm seeing is like coming like last decade, 1 decade, what I was observing is initially it was textual content, the blogs were of full range. Like we used to read a lot of blogs. We used to study everything on blogs. Then later on, like some video content has come in through YouTube, and now especially you are in a niche where health and wellness, people are searching more on YouTube as well as Instagram, but Instagram has become something like too much of shortcuts to life, but it's a pain for us to be there because the reach is high. So we have to be there. But the challenge there is like, it's like making doctors dance.
Exactly.
Did you see doctors doing that, this? I don't think it's really making any sense in 1 minute. You try to do like this and add 3 lines. And बेचारा मुझे कभी ऐसा लगता है कि I laugh to myself, but I feel they're doing it because everyone else is doing it. Because they feel
100%.
True.
it is giving reach. So what I feel is like nowadays I can tell you why are you in this session, because you feel this, you took up some time, 30 minutes or 45 minutes or 1 hour, because I think now we are we are reached a place where these type of discussions are going to play a huge role in building followers as well as building that kind of loyal audience. So now the loyal audience are going to reach to this level where they expect things like one-to-one support or maybe group support. Maybe I think you should move there, because Instagram content definitely will come. And I feel when you do this kind of group sessions sometimes, that can be the original content, and you can derive the content from that, because sometimes we never know what is the same pain point. Let us say you are a wellness and health coach. Like there is a problem of PCOS. Most of the women are having an issue, and this is a PCOS awareness month going on. Unwanted hair. Many young women also, they are diagnosed with PCOS, and they're not just looking for solutions to PCOS, because PCOS can be managed with lifestyle changes, just like diabetes. But problem is that saying to make a lifestyle change is very easy, but making them do is tough. So what kind of content is resonating? It's okay to have unwanted hair. And 1 in 6 women are suffering with it, or 2 in 6 women are having that problems. So
Really, 2 in 6 PCOS.
Yeah,
Wow.
that is the latest thing, because I am now working with a fertility chain. That's the reason I am into it. From the last month, I am doing some sessions and all. So why I'm bringing this up here is, I'm seeing some Instagram channels and all. What they are talking on is, there is one Instagram handle called She the People TV. They talk about, they want to resonate with audience thoughts. They're not giving a solution. They're saying like, when a woman gets married, they talk about her dressing. They talk about she should leave the job. They talk about she should leave the she should take care of family, and they talk about everyone else will come and plan the kids for them. They should have kids in this time. So, and they say what else? And they say what else? And there will be a lot of comments pouring in. So now I think content, the way the content we are doing content has to evolve, where you allow a lot of participation from the users. So I'm coming there. Like what I'm trying to tell is, it's not just about sharing information. Now that I think that level we have raised the bar. Internet has actually raised the bar. With all these meetings, all these possibilities, the COVID has opened up. Now we are a Zoom call away. Some time ago, we were shy to get on a video call with a stranger.
True.
Even men also equally, not only women.
True.
And now it has become a normality, the new normal. So I think this is what I can tell you. If you are talking to the people now, you get a lot of stuff. You create content out of it, and you try to create a co-create content. Don't create individually. This is called co-creating content. Now Satish ji came in, he gave in good insights, and now we are talking on other level and different topics also we are talking actually. These are mentioned. So this is something which is very interesting to me. So I will not stop. So I want to put a full stop to it now.
That was very
Satish,
useful.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Satish ji, can I, when it is coming to personal branding, could I say something? For example, nowadays we need to go more deeper, in the sense that I'll just give the 2 examples. One is finance content writer or Ayurveda. We need to go more deeper. For example, Ayurveda for whom? Or you cannot say Ayurveda for the entire world. You have to go for either you have to attack a specific issue, or you have to look at a specific audience, say gents, boys, girls, adolescents, or elderly, or whatever. You can say that I specialize in Ayurveda for dash dash dash, or I am in case of Suvik, I'm an ex-banker turned dash 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 content writer. And the dash 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 is a specific sub niche of finance, because finance is a huge thing.
Yeah. Now
It could be only for fintech or fintech startups.
Yeah.
So
put in the chat, blockchain writer.
Yeah.
Very specific. So yeah, that's your niche. I mean, as the narrower we go with your niche, the more specific your audience, and the more specific your message. And the more specific your message, the more chances that it sticks in people's minds.
Yeah.
Right. So
and once we get established in that specific niche, then you can go a bit broader, because then another 10 different type of people will be coming to you.
Exactly.
So, and I
it's-
take this opportunity to introduce Kirti, who has joined the Niche Marketers Club recently. And thank you for joining, Kirti. She's helping out brands and solopreneurs with social media marketing. So she has started recently working out. So just wanted to introduce her to the community, whoever is here. So see, Kirti, you can say hi, hello, and tell about yourself a bit.
Hello,
Definitely.
Kirti.
Namaste everyone. Hi, hello. I'm Kirti. Basically, I'm a logistics and supply chain planner previously, but due to this pandemic, I lost my job, and due to some personal commitments and pre-COVID only, I got married. Couple of months before this pandemic outbreak, I got married. And due to that location demand and everything, I just don't want to give up on my career. So I went for searching different options, and at that time I landed with social media marketing, and I felt yes, this is a good one for me, and I felt this suits my personality well, because I'm good at these sort of things. So I chose that, and I'm a Carnatic music tutor, and now from last 6 months I'm working as a social media marketer. I'm right now helping people with Facebook and Instagram ads and funnel building, and most of the people whom I'm working right now are into health and fitness. Thanks to pandemic, everyone is alerted and everyone is very keen about themselves. They are taking care of themselves. So this is the highly demanding thing right now. And manifestation coach and health, these people I'm helping right now, working with most of them. And I'm completely new for this club. Thank you, Govardhan sir, for letting me know about this particular community. And this is the first time I'm joining for the call, and I'm so sorry I'm so late because of my client calls. I'm so late. Anyway,
No,
I'm so happy to meet you guys. Hopefully, very soon I can learn a lot from you people, from your experience and many things.
no, Kirti, it's like I can tell you in niche marketers we focus. My focus is always about connecting and making an impact. So I always care about people. It can be less people. I not worry. Never after the numbers, because the real connections are made once we start interacting. Then we start building, because Prashantji has been joining almost all the live sessions for the last 2-3 months since he has joined the club. Then I'm also trying to empower everyone in the club. Means trying to see. Problem is that we are all there, but we are not visible. We are not making enough noise, and as marketers, we are not telling who we are and all. So it's always important that please take out some time to always don't miss a networking opportunity. Pehle kya tha, if you want to do a networking this thing, you need to, in Hyderabad itself, if you want to attend a networking session, you have to take at least 5 to 6 hours of your day. But now you're at the comfort of your home, within 30 minutes you can attend and you can finish it off. But still most of us are not doing, because we always have an excuse. I'm not saying you are giving an excuse. In general, what happens with everyone is, time nahi hai. Time to, it will never be there. Like time is always, you have to create time.
I completely agree. And I think it's only 2-3 weeks I joined this.
Yeah.
Last call, I'm not available. I mean, I'm traveling at that time. I'm not available. And from next time onwards, I will make sure, because this will help me a lot. I can connect with more new people who are very well experienced and who are into this field from so long. And at the same time, I can connect with people who are in need of my service or my needs. I can
Definitely, it's all possible. It's a win-win for everyone. And we're coming up with many sessions actually. There's my session also planned. It's delayed actually on email marketing and lead nurturing, lead nurturing through emails and all. So that's it. So Satishji, anything you want to add before we actually wrap it up?
No, that's all. I think, I mean, if people are interested, maybe we can look at, using different social media channels for personal branding. We can use Twitter, you can use Facebook, you can use LinkedIn. Each has got a different approach. So maybe in future, if people are interested, we can take a poll and create a session for that specifically.
Okay. Personal branding with
Using Twitter, you
okay.
can do it. You can use it. You can do personal branding on LinkedIn. You can do personal branding on Facebook. There are many channels. Each will have a different approach.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, definitely. I got your point. Maybe I think I feel like this framework itself, what you have provided.
Yeah.
If we add some worksheets and some
Mhm.
exercises,
Mhm.
and that this itself can be like a workshop or
Workshop.
something.
Yeah.
Because I feel like
Mhm.
half of them on the session I could see they have already figured out their kind of things. Half of them are like that. And half
Okay.
of them are like they're not yet confused. So that's my problem.
Mm.
So let us see how it will work.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll see, because most of the guys are not focusing on personal branding. I always emphasize on that. It's very important, very important. Or else you're going to lose. आज की date में भी वो competition अभी भी कम है digital marketing. It's going to get more and more fierce because 10th class का बच्चा भी आ रहा है, 12th class का बच्चा भी आ रहा है digital marketing करने के लिए.
Yeah.
No barrier, no
Everybody.
entry
Yeah.
barrier.
There's no
No
entry barrier.
Yeah. But always it actually differs. Like always your education matters because you know the broader thinking, the bigger picture. So always you have an edge. So they are not at all your competitors. So competition is a good thing. Competition is saying that we have a big market. That is one thing. That is how we should see it. So let us do it. So next week we may have a session on email, or there is a session about LinkedIn. Like it's a follow up to this personal branding thing. So one guy already had a plan about LinkedIn, how to create your profile and how to use LinkedIn to get more leads, maybe jobs, especially
Okay.
this focused on jobs mostly.
Mhm.
So maybe we'll have that session next week.
Okay.
That is one more plan. And the upcoming month, we are having some more thoughts about getting one guy who runs a meme marketing agency.
Okay.
And we may also have one more workshop about freelancer to agency workshop, and one I'm planning for specifically for business owners about how they should actually create their own strategy, or how they should create a roadmap for themselves, because many
Okay.
business owners
Mhm.
are having a problem with that. That is one more thing we are planning to do. So guys, I think we took almost more than a 1.5 1
Yeah.
or 2 minutes. Okay, Satish, I will
Okay.
follow up on that. So
Yeah.
what you said,
We'll do that. Maybe
maybe-
we'll plan for a workshop also. Like you said,
Ah.
that's a good idea. We can plan a workshop where, we can do it in a couple of hours and get people to create a elevator pitch, and also try to go as narrow as possible with their niche. Both the
Yeah.
exercises we can combine into one and do a workshop.
Yeah, we can have some maybe 2 or 3 outcomes at max, and we can.
Yeah.
Thank you, Satish ji. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you all.
Thank
You've
you.
been a wonderful audience.
Thank you so much.
Thank you all.
Thank you. Bye.
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 Thank you, everyone. Good night.
Good night.